As the end of World War II was upon the world, the United States had created and used their atomic bomb. This weapon was the biggest threat to any country in the world, and the Soviet Union decided that they would make their own. To start this off, the Soviets obtained America's classified atomic bomb blueprints and later tested their own bombs at the Semipalatinsk test site in Kazakhstan. The creation of atomic bombs by the Soviet Union led to an arms race between the United States and the Soviet Union. The definition of an arms race is a situation in which countries that are enemies each try to build or collect weapons faster than the other can. This was exactly what happened during the Cold War between America and the Soviet Union. The arms race officially started in 1949 and was partially sparked by the United States and Soviet Union's disharmony. Because of the tensions between the Soviet Union and the United States, when the Soviet Union tested their own atomic bomb on August 29, 1949, the race began. During the arms race, both countries created many atomic bombs, but atomic bombs were not enough. Both sides started trying to create the hydrogen bomb. In 1952, the United States tested their hydrogen bomb for the first time. A year later, the Soviet Union tested theirs. Now both sides had atomic bombs and hydrogen bombs. There were many other testings of nuclear bombs by the United States and the Soviet Union as they continued building their arsenals. But neither used these weapons against the other. In other words, it never became hot, hence the name Cold War. When the two major powers started testing these weapons, their research moved into technology designed for the launch of nuclear warheads. In 1957, the Soviet Union eventually developed the R-7 ICBM, which launched Sputnik, the first man-made satellite, into space. This scientific landmark came as a surprise to the United States, and the country became determined to outperform Russia in this new, undiscovered, and looming frontier, space. This began what is commonly known as the space race. The Soviet Union held its lead against the United States with its first attempts of the N-1 and LK programs. These programs had the sole purpose of creating a spacecraft that could do a rendezvous around the moon. In 1958, Dwight Eisenhower created the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, also known as NASA, to direct the United States in the space race. 2 years after the launch of Sputnik, the Soviet Union launched the Luna 2, which landed on the moon and became the first human-made spacecraft to make direct contact with the moon. Shortly after, in 1961, the Soviet Union sent Yuri Gagarin into space, and he became the first person ever to enter space. In the same year, John F. Kennedy spoke to the United States with the claim that by 1970, the U.S. would have a man on the moon. This claim did not come true until 1969, when the Apollo 11 landed on the moon with Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. While the U.S. only won one of the 4 races for space, landing people on the moon was seen as the greater achievement, and the United States was the self-declared winner of the space race. Later on, in 1975, the Apollo-Soyuz mission was launched with a Soviet as well as an American on board. These two landed and shook hands on the moon, showing that the space race rivalry was officially over.